Wolfgang Van Halen stunned the world with a jaw-dropping transformation. Wolfgang Van Halen is unrecognizable. After his transformation, the world cannot stop staring. The internet froze the moment new photos surfaced. Fans blinked twice. Comment sections exploded. The same name that once carried the weight of rock royalty suddenly carried something else entirely: power, presence, undeniable confidence. For years, people looked at him and saw legacy. Now they look at him and see evolution. Growing up as the son of Eddie Van Halen was never going to be normal. From childhood, Wolfgang lived inside a spotlight most people could never imagine. When he joined Van Halen as a teenager, critics were ruthless. They treated him like a placeholder instead of a player. But what they never saw was the work happening behind closed doors. The endless rehearsals, the pressure, the silent determination forming inside him. Wolfgang absorbed it all. He stood on global stages while still figuring out who he was. Cameras captured him beside his father, one of the greatest guitarists in history. And whether he liked it or not, comparisons followed. The world did not give him space to simply grow. He had to grow under a microscope. Then life hit harder than any critic ever could. The loss of Eddie Van Halen changed everything. Grief in private is unbearable. Grief in public is suffocating. The world mourned a legend, but Wolfgang mourned a father. Every interview hurt. Every tribute performance cut deep. And for a moment, many wondered what would happen to him next. Would he retreat from the spotlight? Would he disappear? Or would he transform? What followed shocked everyone. Instead of hiding, Wolfgang stepped forward. He poured his pain into music. He built Mammoth WVH from the ground up, playing multiple instruments himself, writing with raw honesty, refusing to be boxed into nostalgia. The sound was powerful, modern, emotional. It carried echoes of heritage without being trapped by it. Songs like Distance hit listeners straight in the chest, not because of the last name attached to them, but because of the authenticity bleeding through every lyric. At the same time, something else was happening quietly. A physical transformation that no one expected. Slow, steadily, Wolfgang began changing. Healthier habits, discipline, focus. There was no flashy announcement, no dramatic reveal, just progress. Real progress. When fans started noticing, the reaction was immediate. He looked leaner, stronger, sharper. The difference was undeniable. But the most striking part was not the weight loss. It was the confidence, the way he carried himself on stage, the way he spoke in interviews, the way he responded to critics with calm strength instead of frustration. This was not just a body transformation. This was identity reclaiming itself. Social media buzzed with admiration. Supporters praised his dedication. Even former doubters began to shift their tone. Because growth like that cannot be faked. It shows in posture, in voice, in energy. Wolfgang was no longer the quiet kid in the background. He was commanding the frame. Every live performance began feeling different. The lights hit, first chord rang out, and there he stood, grounded and powerful. He was not trying to fill anyone's shoes anymore. He was building his own stage, and fans felt it. They sang louder. They cheered harder. They connected deeper. Part of what makes this transformation so compelling is how relatable it feels. So many people struggle with expectations placed on them by family, society, or circumstance. Wolfgang's journey mirrors that struggle on a massive scale. He carried a legendary surname that opened doors but also cast enormous shadows. Breaking free from that shadow required courage that few truly understand. He did not attack critics. He did not beg for approval. He worked quietly, relentlessly, and when the results showed, they spoke louder than any argument ever could. The transformation became symbolic. It represented resilience. It represented self-control. It represented choosing growth instead of resentment. The cameras that once captured him as a teenager beside his father now capture a fully realized artist. The difference is dramatic. The jawline sharper, the stance firmer, the presence magnetic. People say he looks unrecognizable, but maybe this is the first time we are truly recognizing him at all. This is not about aesthetics alone. It is about evolution. It is about turning grief into fuel. It is about silencing doubt with action. And as the world continues to react, one thing is clear. Wolfgang Van Halen is no longer living in anyone else's narrative. He is writing his own. Wolfgang Van Halen's transformation is even more powerful than the first because it proves this was never a temporary shift. It was a lifestyle change, a mindset change, a career redefining moment. When someone transforms, physically, but not internally, it fades. When both change together, it lasts. His songwriting has grown bolder. The riffs heavier, the melodies more confident. There is no hesitation in his delivery now. Every note feels intentional. Every lyric feels earned. The discipline that reshaped his body mirrors the discipline shaping his music. He approaches the studio like an athlete approaches training. Focused, precise, relentless. Industry veterans who once spoke cautiously now speak with respect. The conversation has shifted from legacy to longevity. People are no longer asking if he can escape his father's shadow. They are asking how far his own light will shine. That shift is massive. It signals arrival. Concert footage tells the story better than headlines ever could. Watch him step on stage now. There is calm intensity in his eyes, strength in his posture, control in his movements. The physical transformation amplifies his stage power. He looks comfortable in his own skin, and that comfort radiates outward into the crowd. Fans who once came out of curiosity now come out of loyalty. They are not just there to witness history's son. They are there to witness a modern rock force carving his own lane. That loyalty was earned, not inherited. What makes this journey so gripping is the emotional layer beneath it. Wolfgang faced relentless online negativity over the years. Comments about his appearance, comparisons, cheap shots. Instead of collapsing under that pressure, he internalized it as motivation. That kind of mental resilience is rare. It is easier to lash out than to level up. He chose to level up. His interviews now reflect clarity. He speaks openly about mental health, about criticism, about grief. There is maturity in his tone, humor in his responses, self-awareness in his reflections. The transformation sharpened more than his physique. It sharpened his perspective. Culturally, his evolution resonates beyond rock music. In an age where public figures are dissected daily, authentic growth stands out. He did not stage a dramatic before and after campaign. He did not chase viral fitness headlines. He simply committed to better habits and let time reveal the results. That authenticity builds trust. And trust builds fan loyalty. There is also something poetic about the timing. After losing his father, many expected him to crumble under the emotional weight. Instead, he channeled that pain into purpose. He honored the past without being imprisoned by it. That balance is difficult. He achieved it with grace. The phrase unrecognizable keeps circulating online. But maybe what people truly mean is undeniable. You cannot deny the work. You cannot deny the presence. You cannot deny the shift in energy. He radiates a different frequency now. Focused, driven, centered. As tours expand and music evolves, the excitement surrounding him feels sustainable. This is not hype built on nostalgia. It is momentum built on merit. Each performance reinforces that narrative. Each new song deepens the connection. Each appearance strengthens the brand he is building around authenticity and resilience. Wolfgang Van Halen's transformation sends a message that extends beyond fame. You can inherit a name without inheriting your destiny. You can face criticism without becoming bitter. You can experience loss without losing yourself. Growth is a decision repeated daily. He repeated it until the results became visible to everyone. The world once saw a young musician defined by his lineage. Today, they see an artist defined by discipline. The world once saw potential weighed down by expectation. Today, they see power fueled by purpose. And if this trajectory continues, the future will not be about comparison at all. It will be about impact. Wolfgang Van Halen is unrecognizable after his transformation because he refused to remain static. He evolved, he rebuilt, he refined. And in doing so, he proved that legacy is not something you carry passively. It is something you shape actively. The spotlight that once felt heavy now feels deserved. The stage that once felt now feels owned. This is more than a glow-up. It is a breakthrough. And the story is still unfolding.